everybody? It's your girl Lauren Reed right here on the Lauren Reed Live Show on Water Ice Radio, and we're here in the beautiful Brooklyn Bowl, and we have a new episode for you guys. But first, Jay, what's up?
I'm good. Jay the Gentleman here. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It's officially fall.
Thank God.
Hoodie season, everybody.
Yes.
Ladies, rack up on those guys' hoodies.
Scandalous.
But we're here, you guys, for another amazing episode. This person is a friend to the show. He's also family around here. He has an amazing fine art gallery in the Germantown area, my neck of the woods. And we're just so happy to have him here. We kind of did like a fake podcast with him before, right?
Yeah, we were like, we should have him on.
We were sitting there talking to him like, this is amazing stuff. We should definitely talk to you for real, for real. So everybody, please welcome the owner of Ubuntu Fine Art Gallery, Mr. Stephen Taylor. How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Good. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
You,
Yep.
Again, technically.
I thought fall started the 22nd of September.
It does. But I
Okay.
think I think as a society, we all accept it.
I mean, it's like 70 degrees outside.
Technically,
though.
September 22nd.
Listen, as soon as I get to turn the central air off, I'm like, and
Right.
open
It's
up
fall.
the windows, it's fall.
It's fall.
It's fall for sure.
School starts this fall.
Right.
Right. For
There it
all you
is.
parents out there, once you put them on the bus,
fall.
it's fall,
It's
right?
autumn.
Absolutely.
So welcome back, Steve. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Doing very well since the last time I saw you.
I know,
on the
right?
panel at the gallery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
congrats
you.
on that, by the way.
Oh, thank
that was a
you,
really
guys.
cool panel.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
dropping gems.
Dropping gems, like dropping
You
that
know,
PE.
I try to, little by little.
Yeah.
They'll listen to me one day.
One of these days.
Right? But no, thank you again for having me. It was an amazing panel. The panel of creators was just awesome. Ricky Cotto, Tiffany from A Remix Living, Chad as well, CJ. Chad is hilarious, right? So it was an amazing panel, and your space is just beautiful. And so we'll kind of like circle back around to that.
Absolutely.
So let's just talk about you a little bit. You are a photographer.
I'm an artist now.
An artist. Oh, that's the
I
new
use
title.
photography as my medium.
Okay. So you're an artist, but you take these amazing pictures. And one thing that we love to hear is your story about how you actually started
Yep.
taking photos. So talk a little bit about that.
I like to say that I'm an engineer by trade because I've been working in the engineering field for most of all my professional career.
Okay.
I used to be a back-end systems engineer for the consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton, but I came to that through an obscure place too. My degree is in criminal justice. I moved to D.C. to get a job as a youth correctional officer. I wound up meeting this girl at the Howard McDonald's, and
That's a legendary
Yeah, I was
McDonald's,
gonna
by
say,
the
you
way.
know which one? You know
I
about
went to
that?
Howard. Yeah, it's legendary.
legendary McDonald's. And I was fortunate to meet her because through my relationship with her, I met her mom, and I got down with Booz. Booz opened my mind to a whole new world of things that I could do. I like to tell people that I didn't know I was smart until after college.
Okay.
So I was an athlete my whole life. I thought I was going to the league. That was my dream. Like, I was going to be a football player. But I realized that I was smart, and when I got to Booz, I was able to kind of see that come to fruition.
So talk about Booz a little bit. What's that? I didn't want
Booz
to cut you
Allen
off.
Hamilton is a government consulting firm. So,
Okay.
in line with Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Boeing, they work government contracts, and I work internally for one of the IS information systems teams, and I manage financial applications on the back end. So
Okay.
Deploy code, troubleshoot issues, ensure that the systems are up and available for the users to use. I manage financial applications that we use to report to Wall Street and all those kinds of things. So they're very important applications, and almost single-handedly, those were mine, on the production end.
So very corporate.
Very, 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 very corporate. When I was 30, I quit. People always, well, why'd you quit? They wanted me to manage people. They wanted to promote me and manage people, and I was like, I don't think I'm. Not that I'm not ready. I don't desire to do that.
Okay.
So I quit. I had already moved back to Philly. I was working remotely 100%, and then I quit. Took my money, made my house the way that I was accustomed to living in Virginia when I was down in D.C. or the DMV area. And after I finished my project, I was bored. So my homeboy, Omar, I was bitching to him one day about something. Right? I was in my feelings, and I was just complaining about everything. He's like, "Man, you're talking all this bullshit, but you're not doing nothing." the next day I went out and bought 3 GoPros. And this
Wow.
was early 2014. I said I'm gonna go around the city and get people's food stories. I started off on the gram as I Am Food Frenzy, and I think that, at least in my perspective, I helped to introduce a GoPro to an urban environment for more than just an action sports camera.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, you know,
Storytelling.
like legitimate storytelling, food blogging before it was a thing, right? So I strapped the GoPro to my chest, had one on my wrist, had one on my stick, and then I would go food trucks, whomever wanted to, I could get a conversation with. I know the head chef at Molly Malloy's down in Reading Terminal. I went to high school with him, got some interviews with Molly Malloy's. Subsequently, the owners of Molly Malloy's are Ivion Brothers, which is the produce spot in Reading Terminal, so I got some interviews with them. And then I interviewed my good friend Salim Weldon, and he put me down with every chef, business, anybody who cooked. My homeboy got this thing, he doing this thing. My homeboy got this thing, he doing this thing. And that introduced me to Nehemiah Davis, and that introduced me to travel.
Okay.
But I figured out very early in the GoPro game that I didn't prefer video. It takes too long. You know?
Okay.
It's a long process.
It's a very long process. So I had
Tedious.
all this footage, and I was like, Dad, you know, I don't really have none of the skills to edit. I don't have the software to do it.
Right.
You know, I just got these
That's
cameras,
another
and I'm
thing.
just getting into it. So I'm 3-4 months into this new realm of stuff, you know, that I really don't know anything about. So I started just kind of taking pictures with the GoPro. So this one photo I had, this young lady that I was with jump in a puddle in the middle of Center City, and I put my camera in the water. It's a fire picture, you know. I say that was the image that Rashad saw. So my homeboy Rashad Lamry did a hashtag search on GoPro, and he reached out to me. This was, again, 2014. And it's 2022 now.
Yeah.
Me and Rashad have been rocking for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I call him my founder. So that's how I kind of got into photography, was through GoPros.
Nice. So many heavy names I just want to mention that you're mentioning right now.
Former guests.
Former guests that have been on the show. Shout out to Salim and Rashad. So you kind of transition. You said and Nehemiah too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Nehemiah
as well. Nehemiah introduced you to travel.
Yeah.
So I think when people see a lot of your work, we see that you've traveled the world, right?
18 countries.
18 countries. So before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the Fine Art Gallery, Ubuntu. First of all, what does that mean? So everyone can know.
Ubuntu is a South African philosophy that, in its most simple terms, translates to humanity and sharing.
Okay.
Ubuntu is not a holiness, it's a practice. So you practice Ubuntu. You practice the intentionally seeing others as yourself. That's the humanity side of it. And through that humanity, that interaction, you're you or me and I'm you, I can more easily share myself with you, my skills, my passions, my intellect, and I can receive what you're giving me as well. That is embedded in South African culture. Not everyone's perfect. Not everybody's great. It's not kumbaya. It's not some utopian society, right? But this philosophy undergirds their entire culture. And I've been to South Africa 3 times, but every time I would come back to Philly, it would wash away. So every time I get back to the States, almost as soon as I hit the airport, it's gone. The emotions, the feelings are gone. And I wanted a way to keep it. I wanted a way to hold on to it. So when I was contemplating the gallery, I wanted to name it that, you know, so that I can kind of keep this feeling and keep it going
while you're home.
I'm home, by being able to express its meaning to the visitors of the gallery.
And within your gallery, I don't even like to say photos, and not to sound all foofy, but you do capture. I think you have a great sense of capturing moments.
Yes.
I'm a time thief.
Yeah. So can you talk about like the difference in what you're trying to look for when you're trying to capture something within your cameras?
I am very good at absorbing space. So I'm not looking for anything. What is it giving me? So what's the energy? What's the overall dynamic of a space and time that I'm occupying with other people, with animals, with trees, with birds? What's there at this moment? So if this is aside from travel, but if I'm walking to my neighborhood Dunkin' Donuts and I have my camera with me and I take a photo of a bug in a bush, where's that photo taken? Who knows?
Who knows?
It can be anywhere. It's really just at that time. This is what I captured. So this is a short story. I posted this photo on Instagram, and again, it was a bug in the bush. And this girl told me that can't be True Avenue. And I'm like, well,
why not?
Why not? It's just a bush.
Right.
Well, it's no green on True Avenue. So I said, when last time you been on True Avenue? Like, how did
right?
You know, so it's what's available at the time that I'm going to do it. So I'm not intentionally going to sit in a park for 4 hours and wait for the exact moment that I want to take this photo. You know, I can do that, but I would rather have what is most intimate, what is most natural, what is most what's the word? Candid.
Candid. You know? Okay. So through your travels, and mind you, you guys can see all of these beautiful pieces at his fine art gallery. Talk a little bit about your favorite place to travel. That's probably hard to choose with 18 countries, right? Nope. No, you know. Okay.
Absolutely.
So where's your favorite place to travel?
Lamu, Kenya.
Kenya, okay.
That's where I remember that.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's the last place I traveled to.
Okay.
You know, but that place is, I've never felt energy like that. So I'll break it down to two things.
Okay.
What's the most beautiful place I've ever seen? Santorini, Greece.
Okay.
It's amazingly beautiful. What's the best place I've ever been? Lamu, Kenya.
So talk about the energy there and like what you felt being there and like what did that bring out in you artistically?
I have never felt an intense feeling of freedom. You know, like I didn't have no baggage. You know, it was just like all love. That place I would kind of, in my opinion, that's a utopian society. Like it feels good there. Now it's a third world country. You know, it's not glitz and glam or anything like that. But life on the water is just different than Zanzibar, different than Mombasa. I've been to both of those places, and they're a dhow ride away, essentially along the coast of Kenya, along in the Indian Ocean. Right. So I just never felt that kind of energy amongst people. Maybe part of that was because I traveled during COVID and it wasn't as many people on the island.
Okay.
The island don't get a whole bunch of people anyway, but the island has this like intimacy, this romance. There's only 4 cars on the island.
Wow.
Most of the stuff gets done by donkey or manual labor. The intellect of the fundis, which translates into engineers, it's incomparable. Like you can't compare it. You know, a 21-year-old there can wire your whole house electricity.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like cook your food, sell you around the Indian Ocean. It's just so many skills that was just like all free love, like just love. So I had never been to a place where I was able to experience it like that, which is why it's so close to my heart, which is why mostly half the gallery is
pictures from that Kenya.
You know?
That's just so interesting hearing you talk about it. And you, like you said, when you get off the plane, you come here, it was kind of like washing completely away. Yeah. Like, do you still experience that, or how do you kind of like try to balance or try to hold on to it, or is your work what you hold on to kind of get back to that space?
It's my hard drive.
It's your hard drive, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely my hard drive. So I'm always kind of looking through it, especially as as I become more of a prominent artist. People ask me to do installations and stuff like that. So I always kind of go through my photos, see what I want to do, see what I feel at the moment, and all those kinds of things. So I'm preparing an installation right now, and I just went back through all of them, and I just felt it again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So my hard drive is a place where I can escape to when sometimes it get a little too heavy or whatever the case may be. So I try my best to keep it through my conversation, through the way that I express myself to the world, the way that I market myself to the world. I'm a peaceful person. You know, I'm not for the riffraff. I just don't do that. You know what I mean? So through the way I live, through my approach to life, the people that I'm able to absorb through that, through that walk of mine, allows for it to be ever present in my mind, so that no matter what, I'm still here. You know, no matter what, I still can be that same kind of free that I was there. It's just a little harder here.
It's a little different.
It's a little harder here.
Perfect time for a break, right? When we come back, I want to just talk to you a little bit about how you came up with the idea of your gallery. Is it exactly how you envisioned it, like right now, and all the process that it kind of took you? I mean, shout out to the fact that you put it in the Uptown area where you're from, because I'm sure you had plenty of other opportunities to put it anywhere you wanted to, but you chose a specific location. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So everybody, we will be right back. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here, Water Ice Radio, Lauren Reed live show. We got Jada Gentleman, we got Steven Taylor. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Lauren Reed right here, Lauren Reed live show, Water Ice Radio, Jada Gentleman, Steven Taylor from Ubuntu Fine Art Gallery in Germantown, I like to add. So let's jump right into that. You come up with this idea for a fine art gallery, and then you have to pick a location, right? So talk to us a little bit about why you chose Germantown.
The hood deserves fine things, and that was really my determining factor. And I wanted to be able to be a tangible example to my community from a business perspective. You know, like, I'm here, we doing this here, and we're gonna force, because we dope, everybody to come to us.
Right.
In my mind, it may not necessarily be true, but affluence travels to art, poorness can't. So Philadelphia is internationally known for its art, mostly through the larger institutions. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was like, Philadelphia is like 9th in the world or in the country, something like that, around art, and they gauge that by the amount of galleries that are in the city. So Philadelphia has a ton of
There's
art.
a lot.
Ton of
boutiques,
it, right?
There's a bigger
Boutique
ones.
galleries, from the institutions all the way down to the street vendors, right? I feel like, and again, I could be wrong, but when I asked the young boys on my uptown corners, do y'all go to the museums, what you know about art, they're not frequenting, you know, downtown, center city.
The art museum and stuff like that.
They're not going
Museum
to
districts.
these places outside of maybe a field trip with school. They're not intentionally going on their own. So if I put this in closer proximity, then it's easier for you to walk past.
Right.
Not to even intentionally go to. It's easier for you to walk past. And every day when I'm walking to work, my gallery open, my gallery's open, my gallery's open. You know, I had one of the young bulls, you know, around my way. He was booked when I opened my gallery. I think I was an Inquirer one time, and he had the paper in the Bing, and he was telling all the people that he was locked up with, yo, that's my man, that's my man, that's my man. They're like, no, that's not Jimmy. You don't know, dude. No, that's my man in my block. So it brings me a great deal of pride for things like that to happen, simply because I'm in proximity.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but do you think, like, within the last 10, 15 years, with a lot of artists, especially in hip hop, they're referencing fine art, Basquiat's and all this stuff. Do you think that's kind of like the timing was perfect for you in a sense that now people are actually hearing these stuff in the stuff that they listen to already? Absolutely. And now they can kind of correlate it to, like, oh, okay.
Absolutely. I reference Jay-Z a lot because Jay-Z, you know, put in lyrics the financial vehicle of investment that the collection of art is.
Correct.
And that's exactly what it is.
The value of it.
The value of it. And value increases over time.
Correct.
So most artists, a lot of artists, you know, they blow up posthumously, so they blow up when they dead. You know, I ain't trying to do that. You know, I want to be relevant now and go big now. So, you know, most artists don't own their galleries. That's not within the art model. There's a gallery and then there are artists, and the artists supply the galleries
with
the inventory and
the gallery source the artists so that they can you know, have different installations, different kind of things and stuff like that. But you know, I got my model from another photographer by the name of Peter Lick that I came across when I was in Las Vegas for a tech conference. So at this tech conference, you know, we got 4 days of, you know, workshops and all this other kind of stuff. And after you eat at all the cool restaurants and stuff, and you max out your per diem, what you do?
You
walk the strip.
You walk around.
You walk around. So I just started going downstairs in the casinos. Yeah. And I came across this gallery, Lick Fine Art, photographer by the name of Peter Lick, Australian photographer. You know, he has like all the stuff at the end of his names that, you know, would equate you to a doctorate in photography.
Gotcha.
Like, he has all of this stuff, been doing it for a long time and stuff like that. And when I first walked into the gallery, to me it was like, what is that? How does that even work? How are these photographs? Like, what is going on here right now? So by my 6th time at the gallery, so I went to that joint every single day, sometimes twice a day. The salesperson probably didn't enjoy it that much because I was asking a ton of questions. But by the time I left, I broke it down and said, that's a file. If I can learn the skill to print, then my file can be the same exact thing.
Right.
And that was in 2017. And I just kind of kept building on it. But it took me 2 years to learn the skills to print. You know? So that was a very technical thing that I didn't know.
Because it's not just like you take a picture and you print it.
You can,
right?
No.
Okay.
You know,
if you want to however you want it.
There's
steps to it.
It's levels. It's really levels to processing your photos. The way you edit it is of ill consequence. That's relative to your artistic expression. But to be able to process it, to go 40 by 60 or 48 by 72, retain its detail, retain all its color information and stuff like that, it's processes in which you build into your workflow when working on stuff. So, you know, let's say each file took me maybe a day or two to complete. You look at it under different lighting conditions, nighttime, daytime, with the lights on, with the lights off, you know, different kind of under certain conditions so that you can ensure your file is right. Have a print monitor, calibrate that monitor. You know, it's a lot of technical stuff that goes into it so that when you send your file off, they not sending it back to you. And like, no,
that makes sense.
This not gonna work. No, this not gonna work. So it took me a while to build those skills. So as I'm learning all this stuff, it was a whirlwind. And then I said, well, I gotta open this gallery too. So it's the business side, it's the artistic side, it's the, you know, the technical side, you know, it's all of these things kind of wrapped up into this joint. Like, it's a heavy lift.
Well, I mean, that's a great segue to my next question. Like, as far as like owning, operating your own gallery, do you feel sometimes that you kind of losing like a little bit of the creativity sometimes, or how do you feel? How do you find the balance to continue to work but also maintain the facility?
So in my mind, I didn't become an artist until I opened the gallery.
Ooh, okay.
I was an engineer. So I built the gallery using zeros and ones.
Right.
That's kind of how I break it down. I'm heavy into artistry now, so I'm leaning into the creativity.
Okay.
More so now that I'm freer to do it. You know, so business is hard, and I won't gloss over that.
Right. No, it's tough.
Right, it's tough.
I won't gloss over that. But through the business of the gallery, I've been able to lean more into my artistic expression and take it a step further. And taking it a step further, I'm currently in the pursuit of a certificate in surface imaging to take my printing to a level in which maybe I can introduce photography in a way that hasn't been seen. You know, so pushing the envelope of what that artistry is.
Nice. So we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we're gonna talk all things Fine Art Gallery, like when you're open, what people can come in and see. Happy 1-year anniversary as well. You just celebrated that, so we'll talk about that and also other events and stuff that you have at the gallery.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, it's Steven Taylor. I'm Lauren Reed. This is Jay the Gentleman. We will be right back.
And we're back, Lauren Reed Live, Water Ice Radio, Jay the Gentleman. We have Miss Lauren Reed
Hey, y'all.
and our special guest, Steven Taylor from Ubuntu Fine Arts.
You say that so much better than I do. Say it again.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
I just listened to what he said.
People like to, most like in America is UN.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's me.
You automatically put the N.
The un or the
or the
un.
B.
Yeah,
Right?
Ubuntu.
But it's Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Yeah, for those, you know,
You heard it.
hey, keep it count.
So it's like UN B U U U U B O O N T U.
There you go.
Cool.
Breaking it down.
Thank
And
you.
We're talking about the Fine Art Gallery that you have in Germantown. Congrats on the 1-year anniversary.
One whole
It's a beautiful
year.
facility.
Yes.
Let's get right into like things that you've done within the first year. How do you think it went?
Yeah.
And anything else that we got coming up, or any exciting collections, or you know?
Drop some Clue exclusive bombs
Yeah,
in
need
here.
some exclusives.
So it's exclusivity. We're location. We're located at 5423 Germantown Avenue in the historic Germantown section of Philadelphia. We're open Friday through Sunday, 12 to 6. It's public viewing, free to the public, no charge. We've done collaborations with the Soho House, Foot Locker, Forbes the Culture, Whimsical. We've sold 50 pieces of work.
Nice.
We've created about 15 new collectors, new to the world of art collecting. I think we've had a really solid year for a 1 year business in an industry that I've never been in.
Right.
Right. So,
and it could be a lot of gatekeepers in that industry.
Yes, absolutely. But fortunately, because I'm both owner and artist, I'm the gatekeeper.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we do want to be on the same level as, like, you know, more well-known galleries throughout the world. But we'll get there. You know,
Yeah,
so you know, a year in, I think we on like really solid footing, and the name of the gallery is getting out there more, but also my name as an artist is becoming more prominent, and those two work in like very tight conjunction with each other. The further the artist goes, the further the gallery goes. The further the gallery goes, the further the artist goes.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of that, and you know, one, I couldn't do it without help. You know, like, you know, I'm a one-man band, but I do have a lot of support. You know, first is my mom. My mom supports me heavily. My daughter's mom supports me heavily. My daughter supports me heavily. But also my good friend Kristen has, like, she really supports me. Hector from Water Ice.
Who's that?
My guy Heck Water Ice, you know, supports me heavily. Rashad, Chill Moody, they all really are really good friends of the gallery and help us by utilizing the space, and that's what we want. We want people to utilize the space, so you know, we can utilize the space for podcasts, intimate functions, 21 and older, so like, you know, 16-year-old quinceañeras, and you know, things like that. Wine tastings, beer tastings, food tastings, yoga, Reiki sessions. You know, I like to call it a healing space that can do a lot of different things. Small weddings, small receptions, musical performances, all those kinds of things. Live music sounds really good in there. It's a former piano showroom.
Right.
So the acoustics are amazing. So it's a very versatile space that we can do a lot of different things. I put all the walls in the gallery on wheels so that we can open the space up. We can do, you know, a ton of different things, and we're looking to collaborate with artists or whomever that can bring a cool, dope concept or idea that we can collab on. You know, and I'm actually in the process now of collaborating with other artists to create new art that goes into the gallery. That's a collaborative effort between me and another artist.
Cool.
You know, so
one
that's
thing
what we got going on.
I definitely have to give you your flowers on is that you always keep art in the community, but also with the youth as well. Like, you've done the photo walk for 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
I'm in collaboration with CJ and his company.
This year we did it with CJ. A couple years ago we did it with Historic Germantown.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I thought it was just so cool seeing so many younger people being so passionate about
having an interest
in their artwork and what they're doing and being photographers. Like, why is that so important to you?
Well, photographs are how we tell stories. You know, video is cool.
Yeah.
But a picture speaks differently, right? It's more tangible, like a book, so to speak. So photographs are the lens that we view the past, almost wholly, right? So in 70 years, 30 years from now, their images, my images, Heck's images, they're the ones that's going to tell the story of the 30 years prior.
Yeah.
So I like to use Gordon Parks as an example of this. We view Gordon Parks' work as a lens to the past of blackness, right? So Harlem Renaissance, this, that, and the third, but Gordon Parks was one of the most prominent ones. He wasn't the only one with a camera. Sony didn't only sell me a camera.
Right.
Canon didn't only sell this person a camera. Especially with the advent of cell phones and instant documentation, we're all archivists, technically, especially as soon as you upload it to any social media
platform.
Site, because now you no longer own the content. The content is there. So
right.
in my mind, I say, all right, in 30 years, what kind of compilation is Instagram/Facebook going to do on blackness?
Right.
Because they have all the data.
Right.
You know, so that's the kind of the way I look at it, is the archiving of our stories, which is why I kind of heavily kind of focused my documentary in kind of style on my friends who are business owners. So I have 8 years of data on Rashad, 3, 4, 5 years of data on Neo, 8 years of data on Salim, that we continue to build so that when we're 70 and we got our photographic memoirs and biographies, we got ample data to tell these robust stories of these amazing business owners that may not be prominent rappers or prominent entertainers, but whose stories are just as important and just as meaningful.
And that makes sense because you're sure the Tulsa, like that's a whole history that got wiped out. And there's a lot of people that didn't even know about the Black Wall Street, and having that documentation there for the future generations it brings full circle to what you're talking about.
And Tulsa, it kind of plays heavily into how I approach business and how I want to collaborate, between Tulsa and Harlem Renaissance style salons where the intellectuals, the politicians, the artists, they all talked over dinner, so being able to create environments in which we can bring people together to share ideas. There's no original thought. It doesn't exist. But ideas can be shared, and then new products and new ideas can be had. So how do we get these people in a space? We have to have a space for it to happen.
Right.
So that's kind of like my goal and my mission is holistic. It's not just art. I'm an artist or I'm a photographer. I have a duty. I'm called to do this thing that is putting on in the best light for my community. In the very beginning, it was I only want to document positive blackness. Well, what about this? Worldstar got it. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else got it, and that's what most things, how you say, trauma or violence. Those are the things that get views. Like
sensationalism.
Sensationalization is what's going to get views. Robust stories. That's cool, man. That's decent. Oh, then somebody got shot.
Right.
Unfortunately, yes.
I want to be. I don't want to be in the negative narrative. We only do positivity over here. This is the philosophy of Ubuntu.
Cool.
Heard.
Well, we want to again give you your flowers and thank you for coming on to the show, because what you're doing is so positive and bringing something to your community, the Germantown area, such as a fine art gallery.
And it's the first.
It's the first, right?
It's the only single artist, meaning that it's one artist that both owns and produces the work for the gallery. It's the only one of its kind in Philadelphia that is a photography gallery.
We should have led with that.
There are no other specific to photography galleries. I'll be forgetting it sometimes. There are no specific to photography galleries in the city.
Right.
Wow.
In the country, I don't know of any other photographers that own their own gallery space. So I will be the only fine art photographer who owns their own gallery in the country. That's a black person.
Right.
So that was very important to me.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important to me to kind of be a trailblazer in the sense that we more than just photographers. Like we business owners. We can
do it all.
Stuff.
Yeah,
like
we can.
in a gallery, and the space is a space.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And that's why, we have this platform as well. That's what the Lauren Reed Live show is all about. Putting a spotlight on those people who are doing these type of things, entrepreneurs, the movers and shakers, the artists, and just making a difference in our community. So again, Steve, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having
Everyone,
me.
please go to Ubuntu Fine Art Gallery in Germantown. What's the address again?
5423 Germantown Avenue. It's in between Uncle Bobby's and Gaffney's Fabrics.
Another amazing establishment, Uncle
Absolutely.
Bobby's.
It's like a nice strip there.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is.
Germantown is an artist hub, man, and the more it's going to take some time, but we building it. And there's the art renaissance in Philadelphia through entrepreneurs of color mostly. It's happening right now in Germantown.
Tell our viewers where they can actually find you on like social media platform and things of that nature.
So the gallery's Instagram is Ubuntu Fine Art, UBUNTU FINART. My personal Instagram is Stephen C.W. Taylor. It's STEVENCWTAYLOR. The website for the gallery is Ubuntu FA. That's UBUNTUFA.com.
I feel like UBU into you is its own philosophy. like spelling it out. It's like its own thing.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like
I was like, wow, I didn't even think about it.
It flows very well.
You into you. Like that's.
I've been practicing too.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, you heard it here first. Make sure you guys are checking out Ubuntu Fine Gallery. Steven just told you all his handles. Can't wait for you guys to hear this one. This is really, really good. Glad to have you on the show. Thank you again for stopping by.
Absolutely. Water ice.
Make sure you guys are checking out everything Water Ice at waterice.com. We are your scoops at everything Philly. Also, make sure you're following Water Ice Radio. We have some really good episodes of our podcast there. On all social media platforms, everyone. Also, make sure you are subscribing and streaming our show. We're on all major streaming platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, iHeartRadio, you name it, we are there. So make sure you are checking us out. Jay, you got anything?
That's it. Just keep listening. We got some more good stuff for you.
Yeah, we got some merch too as well, right?
Yeah, go to merch, waterice.com, or actually shop.waterice.com.
Yep.
Get all the new merch. We got some collabs in the works, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Water Ice Unlimited on our Instagram as well. We got some events coming up, so just stay plugged in.
Yes, we have some
Stay
events
plugged
coming
in.
up, don't
Stay
we?
plugged
We're
in.
very, very busy, everybody.
Y'all
All right.
popping.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So you know how we end the show. Maybe I'll say it right this time, Jay.
Let's try it.
Not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear headphones. Peace, everybody.
Peace.